four of golf's biggest names went head-to-head in a series of match play golf challenge games, aptly termed The Match. And while we were all in it for the game itself, we'd be lying if we said the trash talk didn't keep us hooked throughout Saturday's event. Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods faced off against Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas. Today we'll be looking at the game itself and all the banter between players. Stay tuned. Starting with the match itself, key details, highlights, and winners. The 7th edition of The Match was held on December 10th, with Tiger Woods being the only returning professional golfer who was partnered with current world number 1 Rory McIlroy. They were paired against the American professional golfing duo of Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth in a 4-ball event. The game format has varied over the past couple of years, with best ball tournaments, wherein professional golfers are paired with American quarterbacks, or in one instance, NBA players. Saturday's event, however, had the stakes raised with 4 of the most notable names in golf battling it out for the win. The match was made momentous by the fact that it was Woods' first televised appearance since the 2022 Open Championship, after suffering from a near-fatal car crash sometime in 2021 and still recovering from injuries sustained from the event. The 12-hole event was held at Pelican Golf Club in Bel Air, wherein the American duo essentially dominated the pairing of the current and former world number 1s. Spieth and Thomas emerged victorious after winning 3-2 at the event. The professional golfers and real-life friends were in it to win. Thomas made several clutch putts to win holes 2, 4, and 8. Spieth also hit incredible shots, the 10th one in particular, and rolled in a putt to secure their win. It was a good game of golf for a good cause. Money raised from the event would be donated to families and shelters affected by the events of Hurricane Ian in Florida from earlier this year. And now for some trash talk. First up, you hate to see it, Jordan Spieth. The 7th iteration of Capital One's The Match featured its strongest field of golfers yet. The match was monumental for a number of reasons. It was also the first version of TNT's event to be played under the lights. Reigning FedEx champion McIlroy and the champion of champions, Woods, took on Thomas and Spieth, and they lost. Spieth was sure to rub it in their faces when his teammate delivered a beautiful shot at hole 2. Woods and McIlroy might have hated to see Thomas absolutely crush it on the Pelican golf course, but Spieth was having a hoot, and you could tell from just how giddy he was about it. Frankly, once Thomas delivered a masterful stroke earlier on in the game, it was a premonition for the American duo's victory, and it wasn't even close. And while the two teams never really trailed behind one another, Woods and McIlroy were far behind. Their trash talk was what made the whole event entertaining. Some fans claimed they watched the match specifically for the trash talking and weren't that focused on the game itself. Moving on, Chuck's looking at the moon like it's an Oreo, Justin Thomas. Per Matt Fitzgerald of Barstool Sports, he seriously debated dedicating an entire blog post solely to the hilarious jab by the American professional golfer at the show's analyst. For context, ahead of the 5th tee, Barkley and some other analysts were admiring the moon at the match's first Under the Lights event. Thomas, who had been engaging in friendly banter with Barkley over their alumni, Charles claimed he found it difficult to like someone who went to the University of Alabama, poked fun at the analyst's admiration of the moon, claiming he was probably visualizing something else entirely. And that wasn't the only food-related jab the American golfer took at the former NBA player. He claimed that the next iteration of the match would be Chuck versus a plate of cheese fries. Adding to that, Alabama University, Charles Barkley. Nothing brings out the competitive spirit in us more than when we're faced off against an alum of a rival institution. Barkley, an alum of the University of Auburn, took a jab at Thomas, an alum of the University of Alabama, by commenting on the fact that he found it next to impossible to like someone who had studied at Alabama University. His insistence on rearranging the title was to tick off Thomas, but the American golfer came in guns blazing and hit back by stating that while he sympathized with Barkley for being from the University of Auburn, surely even he must know it's not said that way. Moreover, good speed. Tiger Woods. Only it wasn't. As we said, Woods and McIlroy stood a fat chance of winning after a 3-hole deficit. However, the world's most prominent golfing legend wasn't willing to let that deter him from taking jabs at Thomas whenever he could, particularly at the 7th hole where Thomas missed the short birdie putt and gave the number 1's team some chance of winning. Then, the joy of being Tiger being so upset. Jordan Spieth, as the American professional delivered a short birdie and secured the win for him and Thomas. He stood alongside the Woods-McIlroy pairing as all 4 golfers showcased their bracelets. Spieth, who had been a sport throughout the match, poked fun at Woods' irritation of losing, quite badly at that. He claimed that the thrill of winning didn't compare, not even in part, to the thrill of seeing the sour look on Woods' face. But make no mistake, the younger pairing was sure to stay respectful amidst their trash talking. For example, when Tiger was eyeing a 15-footer to win the par 3-8, Spieth stated he would have enjoyed the former world number 1 reenacting his 2000 PGA Championship hole at Valhalla, where he pointed towards a hole and then ran towards it. Thomas recalled watching the event on television as a 7-year-old and admitted that it was one of the most iconic moments of golf he had ever seen, something that would later encourage him to become a golfer just the same. Now, Tiger and Rory, what happened? Spieth and Thomas. After delivering the winning birdie and bagging the trophy, the younger pairing made a reference to a popular TikTok meme by James Droz. All in good fun, that is. Fans were understandably devastated when Woods announced his decision to exit the Heroes World Cup, citing persisting issues from the 2021 crash. He then entered December 10th's event with the claim that he could hit any shot he wanted. He just couldn't walk. Again, it was all in good fun, and we believe McIlroy and Woods loved the younger duo's antics. Spieth even took a jab at himself when he claimed it was hard for him to imagine the world #1's team losing to them. That's fine, everybody does, chimed in Thomas. Next, Phil Mickelson had something to say as well. American professional golfer and the oldest majors winner at 52 years old, Phil Mickelson is a force to be reckoned with in the world of golf. He's been through it all, winning 45 PGA Tour events, 6 majors wins, 3 Masters titles, and 2 PGA championships, along with several accolades and achievements along the way. Mickelson has, as we've established, been through it all. He was also one of the first professionals on the scene at the inaugural event for the made-for-television golfing event, the Match 1. In fact, Mickelson and Tom Brady emerged victorious against Woods and Peyton Manning to go down in history as the first professional sports pairing to win a match event. The American professional golfer is currently 2 for 2. At the second The Match event, he and Brady lost to Woods and Manning. He would then win the third edition when paired with Charles Barkley, before losing the fourth event when paired against Brian DeChambeau and Aaron Rodgers. Notwithstanding his status as one of the biggest names in golf and as a crucial player for the match, Mickelson might never return for the made-for-television event, as confirmed by the sporting event's executive producer. More on that next, but Mickelson's seeming lifetime ban didn't rain gloom and doom on the player who had earlier this year shifted to the Saudi-backed LIV Golf event. In fact, he tweeted out saying that he was excited to watch The Match 7 and hoped that everyone else would tune in alongside him. Sincerity or sarcasm, you decide. And lastly, the executive producer announces executive The Match decisions. Now, Brian Zurf is dipping his toes into the golfing world by becoming the executive producer of the made-for-television event held by TNT, where no topic is off limits. Zurf spoke with Golf.com a little while ahead of the December 10th event and revealed that some executive decisions had to be made. For starters, he put an end to the online petition for the match to feature an undercard. The idea was first suggested by Golf Channel's Shane Bacon, who suggested that LPGA players and younger golfers should also have a spot at the event. Zurf claimed while he loved the idea and recognized the fact that Bacon's tweet had gained significant traction online, it was easier said than done. He claimed it was a good idea till it was in your head, but once you sit down to talk about the cost, it becomes a lot less plausible. Zurf did, however, talk about expanding the event in the near future. The executive producer then went on to talk about how thrilled he was to see Woods back in action and how sad he was to see Mickelson go. You'd know that the PGA Tour and LIV Golf do not get along at all, with lawsuits and accusations being thrown left, right, and center. Zurf said it was impossible to invite the now LIV Golf player, Mickelson, back to the match. He claimed that while he respected the decorated golfer as both a professional and a person, Mickelson had made certain decisions knowing the sacrifices that came because of it, and the match was one of them. And with all that, that's a wrap for today. Which trash-talking professional golfer had you rolling on the floor laughing? Who held up to their end of the bargain? And who didn't do much besides talk? Let us know down in the comments below. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.